And it's here, tier 8, and so is the Laguna Burst, which I spent about 70k on. I'd say it was worth it. He is really good. I was under the impression that his follow-ups triggered after anyone attacked, but clearly that was bad information. But that's okay. He's still a monster. I like his burst effect a lot. I like his follow-ups a lot. I like his debuffs a lot. He's just all around good. And even if I never use him again, which I'm sure won't be the case, I'm sure I will use him again, but just the fact that I was able to knock out this entire tier with just him and Terra was worth it for me. Now this orb, I'm not gonna lie, I barely know how it works. I know it's based on debuffs. I think you have to hit them with an HP attack when they have 3 or more debuffs. That's probably not even accurate, but it's something like that, I think. Why am I talking about something I know nothing about? I was like, here's this orb. I don't know what the orb is. I just know that this works. This definitely could have been more optimal, because I kept getting cracked open, and yeah, that kept happening. I definitely could have done this without getting HP attacked at all, but I kept putting myself in a position where I kept getting broken and then hit. But it seems like if they have 0 Brave, they just won't do HP attacks. I mean, at least they were never doing it to me. So, yeah. Okay, let's get some debuffs on you. Is it time? Yes. I do like his burst debuff. This gold frame debuff is really nice. Basically, it's just a trap that goes off whenever you do anything. So it's like his LD follow-up triggers whenever Laguna acts, but the burst follow-up, which is it's not really a follow-up, it's more of a trap from this debuff, triggers when anybody attacks. Not the enemies. When anybody on your team attacks, they'll just blow up. Doesn't do brave damage though, it's just HP damage. So it's not like Garnet where it's going to be breaking them constantly, but it is a lot more consistent than Garnet's. So there's that at least. So I decided let's go in while they still have some debuffs left. That one on the right only had 1 turn left of the, I believe it's the Desperado debuff. Yeah, Desperado. So that way we can maximize the most damage we can in this burst. And then by the time we get out of here, we'll still have a summon to go in. So really the hardest part of this is just the beginning. Trying not to get cracked open. Don't do what I did. Be a little more defensive. Brave attack more often. You know, C65 stall if you need to so they can recover. You can break them back so you can do damage and then brave attack again so that you don't get killed. That's a lot of lasers and bullets, Laguna. Alright. I don't know if Shiva was the best choice, but whatever, it works. Maybe Odin would have been better for the brave damage, but either way we're capping, so I think it's fine. Figured Shiva would be cool with the extra speed and the EX recharge gauge. I mean, whatever, it works. I'm sure it doesn't have to be Shiva. So now it's just a matter of blowing them up, which is going to happen very soon. This solo on the left here takes a little bit. It's not really a difficult one. It's just being more careful in the beginning. The Terra solo is an absolute joke, and you will see that in a second. Like there's literally nothing to worry about with the Terra solo, but this one's done. And yeah, I think I've decided for Transcendence now I'm just gonna do them like this, where I double speed the first 2 Crucibles, and then at the end I'll do the normal speed that I normally do with the sound on and everything. Yeah, because I was doing 3 separate videos for each tier, but that was back when they were all the same difficulty. Now that we're in Lufenia Plus, I don't think it makes much sense to dedicate separate videos to the left and right Crucibles. I think we can just include them, run through them real quick, because these really aren't the places where people struggle at all. And I don't even think this tier is going to be that struggleish, to be honest. The middle gate is a little strange. It's not difficult, it's just awkward. That you got to let that thing attack 10 times, let the orb go off. It's weird. Because at least for me, it was like he was ready to die so much sooner and just wouldn't because we had to let the orb go off. So the timing of that was a little weird. Being stuck brave attacking forever. I don't know. Like I said, that could have been more optimal, but this is what it is. But this one is straight up optimal. Like Terra's just spamming. No turns on the turn count. Doesn't matter. She's back. I know a lot of people have kind of negative things to say about Terra. Maybe there's some truth to some of that about her damage. I don't care. I love Terra. I think one thing people gotta understand is, yeah, she doesn't do a lot of damage per turn, but she takes 1,000 turns in a row for free. And she's very good for characters that have additional effects. Like Laguna, for example, that Desperado debuff I was just talking about. You want to keep that on for as long as possible. So someone like Terra, who's going to just go and go and go, will keep that up for much longer. So it's not like Terra's bad, it's just you got to know who to pair her with to, I don't want to say make her work, but to make the best of what other people can do. Terra's always been good at that. Prolonging effects of the rest of your team. Terra's always been a pro at that. I'm very glad that they took away the launch bullshit with these sharks. Otherwise, this right here would not be possible. These Lail sharks were so much worse the first time we saw them. Basically, everybody brought Lail or a Lail friend because it was kind of a pain in the ass without it. But that was a long time ago. Now these things are total pushovers. Garnet can solo this too, by the way. So if you don't want to go for Terra, Garnet can do it. She's green crystal also. I've seen some people do that already. But I wanted to save Garnet and green Terra and put her here. And what's done is done. Now moving on to, I don't even want to say the hard part. This part isn't even necessarily hard. It's just a little more awkward. The main thing is not getting killed at the end, because you have to let this thing attack a lot. Just try not to get broken by it, really. I brought, for calls, I just brought Warrior of Light and whatever, Iridia. And I timed them super weird. Like, this run was not optimal either, but it worked. The strategy here is to basically just get Laguna's effects up as soon as we can, which will be now. Might as well just take this because it's free. Might as well. So now we have Desperado debuff on, burst effect up, and I don't remember the name of his LD buff. Something about fairies. I don't know. I don't remember. But the point is we're all set up for this phase of it. Laguna will get broken though, that's fine. We want Terra to go anyway because now we just spam. Because this thing is going to revive himself twice. And the second lifespan has an orb. And I think when that orb gets down to 0, I don't know if it's a insta-wipe or what, but it's basically saying, it says to you right there, do not let this thing attack. Don't let this thing get 5 turns. With Terra, you don't have to worry about that at all. By the way, for those of you who didn't pull for Laguna, if you happen to have Titus maxed out, he can solo that left gate and duo this with Terra also. It doesn't have to be Laguna. So really, yeah, you got options here. You have Titus or Laguna for the left, and then Garnet or Terra for the right, and I'm sure you could just combine maybe any combination of those characters and be okay, realistically. Sure, you have to play it a little differently, but regardless, it works. This is just straight up spamming, so that we can get that additional damage from Laguna going off for as long as possible. And it makes sense to spam here and not later, because at the end, this thing has to take 10 turns for its final orb to go off, and you cannot kill it until that final orb goes off. Like, you'll see it, he's just sitting there ready to die, and won't die because the orb hasn't gone off yet. So again, it's not like this one's hard, it's just awkward, and kind of takes a while because of that mechanic. It just doesn't die when it should. Like I said, it makes more sense to spam now, while we can. So we're going to just use all of Terra's LDs, basically. There's no need to hang on to them. And for the burst phase, we're gonna do Laguna's because it does more damage. And it refreshes the debuffs. We'll get Desperado back on, all that stuff. I believe this is the first lifespan. We haven't even gotten past the first lifespan yet. Yeah, this thing takes a while to die. If you're not careful, he can kill you. Look, he does hit kind of hard. But if you just debuff him enough and try not to get broken, you should be okay. Okay. That's the one. Alright. Life number 2. Sure, we'll hit this. She gets instant turn rate. She jumped right up. And we'll get right back into it. Okay, 2 left. Rydia's here mainly for the evade. That's why I brought her call. I timed it so weird though. You'll see at the end. I did not really play that well. It worked. We got through it, but it started to just not make much sense. And my summon at the end was completely useless. I shouldn't have even summoned at all. You'll see it when we get there, but I guess I'll just spoil it now. The thought process made sense. It was, okay, we're gonna wait until his last turn on the orb, then we'll summon then. Who cares if he's ready to die already and we waste time? The whole point was, why I brought Shiva was to get Shiva's freeze on this thing so that the recast would do no damage at all. But that didn't work at all because this thing was already stacked with too many frame buffs and debuffs, so freeze just never showed up. That's why I've never really been a big fan of characters with a lot of debuffs. Stuff like that tends to happen. That's actually why I was on the fence with Laguna to begin with. Because I'm just really not a fan of characters that take up too many debuff slots. I've never liked it. And it's not like Laguna even has a lot. I mean, he's got a decent amount, but he's not like a Kefka, where it's like, he just takes up everything. He's not like that. I'm glad that Terra ZX actually does decent damage now. That's a plus. Yeah, see, it's not even like that's bad. That's $500,000, and it's for free. So if you think about it, like, she can just keep doing that for free, and she's not even wasting skills doing it. So I don't know. I don't really see the damage complaints. I understand she's kind of designed for this stage in particular, but if you weigh the damage per turn, and I don't mean action, I mean per actual turn on the count, she does a lot without taking any turns, really. So yeah, I don't really get the complaints. Maybe down the line it'll make more sense, but as of right now, I'm not really seeing it. But time will tell, I guess. Yeah, sometimes he'll go for this thing where he'll just break you and HP attack you, and it hurts kind of a lot, but this thing also does tend to just kind of brave attack. See, I kind of feel like I shouldn't have done that right there. Maybe it ended up being a good idea. I don't remember what he ended up doing. I wasn't sure if he was going to go for the brave attack or the HP attack on Laguna there. Since he just did the brave attack to Terra, I figured better safe than sorry. Let's just throw up the shield. Okay. See that 10 turns? 10 ticks on the orb. That will only go down when he takes a turn. Luckily, when he's like this, if you break him, his turn doesn't move, which normally is a bad thing. Okay, it's a good thing I used the shield there. That actually worked out really well. The Laguna didn't take any damage, so that worked out great. But you'll see it. Look, we broke him. He didn't move at all. He stays right there. Yeah, okay, never mind. It's a very good thing I used the shields there. That would have been really bad otherwise. And it would probably be a good idea to use the LD call when it's Laguna's turn again. Honestly, or maybe not. I probably could have saved it. Or no, because he gets battery beforehand, so... And now I gotta rewatch. Was this a good idea to do here or not? I kind of feel like it wasn't. But I saw the recast gauge and panicked. Went, okay, let's just stay safe. Might as well just pop this. I should have done that when Desperado was up for more damage, but it's okay. Speaking of more damage, let's finally get this Terra burst effect up. I figured it didn't make much sense to pop that earlier, because she was going to just spam right through it. I figured it would make the most sense to wait for her to use that, so that in Laguna's burst, you can take advantage of Terra's burst effect, because Terra's burst effect is still pretty nice to this day. It's just most of the time we didn't see it because we were too busy Terra spamming. Yeah, it ain't so bad. And this is where this is definitely where I panicked. Because I'm like, alright, that's way higher than the shield value, so that could kill Laguna. So it might be a better idea to just make him miss. Because look, he does this thing where whenever you battery, he will battery as well. When he's blue like this, he'll do that. Yeah, see, good thing I did that, because that might have killed otherwise. Actually, I don't know. I didn't see how high it was, but I don't know. Either way, I panicked and just did it. But like I said, I definitely didn't play this optimally. It's not. I didn't even look up a video on how to do this, because I'm sure it's been done like on the Japanese server. In fact, I know it has. But I didn't look up how to do it. I kind of just went in and gave it a shot, and it worked. Yeah, see, that's just a brave attack. Now I feel like I should have waited on the Rydia thing. Well, who knows? Laguna might have died, so whatever. It's also nice. We couldn't do it here because, you know, duo. I was trying to make the best of what we had. But it's nice when Laguna's Desperado debuff is on while we're doing this, because that's just extra dumps going off per turn. So you have the attack, the follow-up. Yeah, so, okay, you have the skill, then you have this follow-up, and then you have the Desperado explosion all in the burst, which is pretty nice. Adds up quite a bit. I also intentionally, I don't know if this is the best idea, but I intentionally waited until this thing had 4 turns left on the orb, because the Desperado debuff only lasts for 4 turns. And I figured towards the end of the fight, we were going to want that. Okay, so you should be dead soon if it weren't for your annoying mechanic. 12%, but 4 turns on the orb. We're definitely going to take out that 12% before the 4 turns go off, so it's going to be boring Brave Attacksville in a second. And you missed. That would have been HP, so I'm glad that Rydia was here to help us. Although we have shields up still, so again, the timing is weird. I just didn't want Laguna to die a while ago. That would have been HP too. And now it doesn't make any sense to even dump HP, because he can't die. He's got 2 more turns before he can be killed. Okay, here it comes. You're about to see what I'm talking about. And I was also thinking, oh, Laguna has 1 turn left on the shield. So let's do this so that we can freeze him, but there's no freeze. So really, we just have a completely pointless summon. Just wasting time. Because I big-brained this. No, I didn't. I went in guns blazing, pun absolutely intended, hoping it would work. And it did, despite the mistakes. What an awful summon phase. Because there's nothing we can do. Just brave attacking, letting bombs go off. So right here, it's timed a little weird. Now he can actually hurt us, but not for much. Then the orb goes off and he does it again, but it's not worth much. We're under the limit. The Ragnarok finish. Okay. So all in all, this tier is... See, I'm about to say this tier isn't so bad as I bring the 2 new bursts. But even from what I'm seeing around, not just from my run, but from other people's runs, this one doesn't seem so bad, so I wouldn't stress. Who'd you guys bring, though? Thanks for watching.
Before it's too free fall.